Thank you, Andrew, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Chuck will give us our official introduction of our speaker today.
Okay, well, thank you for coming this morning. Our guest speaker this morning is Andrew Gardner, there by the big screen. He is the chief agronomist for the Winnetka Golf Course, which is the largest piece of land owned by any government body in Winnetka. And therefore, he's in charge of keeping it green, and he works for Kemper Sports. The Winnetka Park District has decided to, I guess, lease, would that be the right term?
We're managing the property.
Yes, give the management responsibility of the golf course to Kemper Sports. So Andrew is with the Kemper Sports organization. He is the chief agronomist. The chief agronomist is the name for the person who used to be called the greenskeeper, but as you know about a golf course, a very small part of the golf course is a green, even though two out of every 5 or 6 shots that you shoot on a golf course are on the green, except for me, three of mine are on, because I can't putt very well. But there's so much more out there, and we're very pleased that Andrew is going to be here this morning to talk to us about a very important program that Kemper Sports has decided to support and seek, and that is to certify the Winnetka Golf Course as an Audubon wildlife sanctuary, life meaning both flora and fauna, both. And so he's here this morning to talk to you a little bit about Earth Day and Kemper Sports programs with regard to certifying the golf course as an Audubon sanctuary. Andrew and I spoke a little bit earlier this morning about his career. We asked him when he got started. He said, well, I got started in this as an intern in high school. So this is a passion of his that has been longstanding. He received a degree in agronomy from Rutgers, is that right? Rutgers. And has been active in the landscaping area, actually operating a landscaping company in addition to managing golf courses and certifying other golf courses. So Andrew, thank you very much for being here with us today, and we're interested to see your perspective on this certification process.
Great. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Reverend Mother Shed, Greg, Jenny, and Steve for having me this morning. And grateful to be here and speak to you all in regards to the spiritual enrichment and Earth Day and our commitment to a sustainable future.
And I know that there's a lot to go through, but
we didn't really talk about how we were going to signal each
you
other.
say, and I'll go to the next slide. I'm sure I know how to do this. Yeah,
So,
and there's a lot to talk about. We're gonna have a lot of questions, but we're gonna let Andrew get through his presentation and then open it up to Q&A, okay?
thank you. So,
we did talk about full screen, but then I can't change the slides. Thank you.
So, Earth Day has been, it's celebrated annually since the 1960s. And, worldwide, it's celebrated in 190 countries. So I'm here to discuss our organization's sustainability. Golf courses are professionally managed landscapes where environmental stewardship is important, from using water and nutrients efficiently to implementing improved technologies and monitoring systems. This is very true in regards to the golf industry and striving to deliver playing surfaces that are better for everyone. More than 2/3 of golf courses are keeping their golf courses drier. So we're preserving water. We're not having to spray chemicals as much because golf courses are drier, and not promoting other issues as in regards to diseases. Thank you. So we celebrated almost 2 weeks ago, Earth Day. That was on Monday, the 22nd. We celebrated, this day by, reducing our regular maintenance and, equipment use on the golf course. And the only things we used to get around were golf carts. And we paired up, so we organized and we went out and we reinstalled our wildlife and habitat structures. We had not really put them back out since construction, so we that was our main focus for Earth Day, and giving back and reducing our footprint for the day. So during that day, we installed 20 bluebird houses. As you can see here, we installed 2 wood duck houses, 4 wren houses, and we installed 4 bat structures. Now, these were mostly existing that we refurbished, and we had some new ones that we put out in addition to the refurbished ones. As you can see here, the top right corner, they were very eager. The bluebirds were very eager and to get back into their houses. This picture was taken probably an hour after we had reinstalled.
So
reinstalled.
is that a nest in there already?
Yeah,
In an hour?
they said the guys were putting them up and they were like wanting to come in right away. This is literally the same day, probably within an hour. Our 20 structures are already housing nest and bluebirds, and I haven't checked the wood duck boxes, but I'm sure.
Boxes really just get wood ducks? How do you make them? I've always wondered how you do this, because we have tough time getting wrens without getting sparrows taking over.
Mm-hmm. The wood ducks, they were it looks like they're very territorial, because I have pictures that they're always kind of in the area.
Yeah.
The wrens, we have wren houses, but I haven't really started monitoring them yet. So, but we've only had them up for almost just 2 weeks now, so.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that was, we were, focused Earth Day, and, we had a great time, celebrating Earth Day, 2 weeks ago. So embracing sustainable practices for a greener future. Winnetka Golf Club and Winnetka Park District are going to be implementing electric golf carts. Those are more cost effective, they're quieter, and more environmental friendly for the property. Water conservation and efficiency, critical for addressing growing water demands. And we're also using moisture sensors on the golf course to kind of dial in our needs for our watering. We also are native areas and no-mow areas, enhancing biodiversity and reducing maintenance. And the bottom one is kind of small here, but that is a wood duck box with the wood duck sitting down near it. So I bet you if we check it, it's probably he probably already started making nests in there. And then the last one, and the one I feel to be the most important, is education and outreach, engaging the community in sustainability. So last year, during construction, towards the end, towards the end of August and all of September, we hosted tours of the project and what was going on. And the top top right photo, was one of the groups that I had on October 4th, actually, or actually, that's October 8th. Is, a group of, there's 9 people in that group, one of the bigger groups we had. We are gonna start the tours again here. They'll typically take place on Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings. So we can pass along the information and get it out to you guys, so you guys, if you were interested, sign up and come out. Be welcome to show you around and kind of show you more of what's going on. Pictures tell you a lot, but seeing it firsthand is a lot better. So the stormwater management in the village of Winnetka. This was a collaboration amongst various agencies to upgrade the stormwater management systems. This was a great collaboration amongst the village of Winnetka, the Winnetka Park District, New Trier High School, the Forest Preserve of Cook County, to put in and to make this project come to life. The ability to hold water and move water and get it into cisterns underground, and then the ability to move the water either north into the Skokie River or into the holding ponds on the golf course, which we'll show you here shortly. In addition, now the Winnetka School District is a part of this, as they are doing a similar project on Pearl Island. So right here we have an underground cistern. This is one of the 2 storage facilities on New Trier and the Winnetka Park District property. So this cistern can roughly hold probably about 8 acre-feet of water. Just to give you an idea of an acre-foot of water, that's roughly about 325,000 gallons of water. So just imagine a football field from goal line to goal line being filled a foot, with up to a foot. That would be 1 acre-foot. Okay, so this cistern can hold up to 13 acre-feet. Wow. So we're in between New Trier's and in the Winnetka Park District on the same property, and I will show you later where they're located. We're roughly talking about 6 million gallons just in the underground holding capabilities to immediately relieve water from the village near where these cisterns are.
So the reason for this is that we had 2 1% storms within 5 years of each other. They're only supposed to occur once every 100 years. And that's because of climate change. And the lower southwestern quarter of Winnetka was flooded in both of those events, causing enormous amount of damage to the homes there. And so this project was undertaken to find places to store that water other than in everyone's basement. So that's the reason for that.
And this particular cistern, where is it?
So this right here is New Trier baseball fields are to the right.
Yeah.
This is Hibbard on the left and Willow.
Okay.
So
Down in
it's
the corner. Yep.
yeah, and then across Willow is the Forest Preserves area, which then will connect into the Skokie River.
The Forest Preserves area is an open water. That's the one that's open
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
You can see it out there and.
Yeah. So it can be diverted directly across Willow into the open forest preserve over there. And then it works its way down and then into the Skokie River. So very good. So this is, the new lake they built on the golf course. So this lake has the capability of holding roughly about 11 million gallons of water. So in the event that, we get one of these 2%, storms and the cisterns become overfilled, they can divert water to the golf course, and also they can divert water north and south. But the golf course has the ability to take on 11 million plus gallons of water in one sitting.
So some of the runoff is going into those lakes?
Yes. So the really sustainable thing about this is, to put it on the golf course will not be reliant on the use of domestic water in supplement of the water that the golf course used to use. This at capacity has 20+ days of nighttime watering if we get into a severe drought. So we are really taking and not having to use domestic water on the golf course anymore. So that has a lot of savings for the golf course, but also we're not using potable water. So
Have you lined those?
this pond is clay. So it's clay lined. One might ask where all this where all the dirt went. So they dug out this lake, and this is what remodeled all the fairways on the golf course. If you're a golfer and have been out to Winnetka Golf Club, you would have seen before that the fairways were flat. They are not flat anymore. They have undulations and positive drainage now. The undulations and rolling mounds and everything, and then they capped it again with the native soils. The water quality, there's water quality structures before they go into the cisterns. So that's the clean chemicals and just anything that would have came from just storm water runoff. So before it goes into the cisterns, it's cleaned, and then it also has, once it's in our lakes, it also we're removing more contaminants into the lake. So we're really trying to clean the water as we move through. Chemical analysis conducted 2 weeks ago. All water quality is good, and this lake was tested. So the water that's coming out of the cisterns is clean and usable water for the golf course, and really good. Okay. So you'll see another water body here. This is the first water body. This is on the par 3 golf course. This is the first water body that comes out of the cisterns, and then works its way over to the 18-hole golf course. In doing this, so on the golf course, there's 16 ponds, and over half of them contribute to irrigation reuse. So the golf course is really becoming sustainable in its own right, truly. The golf industry is continually investing in research and identifying drought-resistant grasses and improved water conservation through best management practices. We also, in the renovation of the golf club, they implemented drought-resistant grasses. So we are really trying to reduce the amount of water we're using on a regular basis. But we also have the ability to reuse stormwater runoff.
Andrew, those grasses are also natives?
No, they're those grasses are the playing surfaces on greens, tees, and fairways.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, there's incorporation of native grasses throughout the golf course,
Mhm.
and we're also increasing our no-mow areas too.
Okay.
To kind of reduce labor and applications, plant healthcare applications and stuff. Yeah.
And this first pond on par 3, did I understand that the cistern is pumping there, and then the rest of the ponds on the golf course are fed from this one?
Mhm. Well, so we have the ability, this pond, and then it has a creek that runs through, and it goes under number 18. It has a culvert that runs under number 18, and then into the pond that I just had on the previous slide.
Okay.
From there, we have a pump that can pump into the irrigation pond.
Okay.
And then that makes it reusable. We also get directly fed from another cistern over on the Skokie playfields underneath the athletic field over there. And then we also, the 9 ponds or 8 ponds from the north end, they all have their own pump that pump into the irrigation pond as well.
Okay.
So everything is being diverted, like coming into the irrigation pond, and being held there for use.
Thank you.
When we have, when my daughter, Ingrid, who's a member of the church and handicapped, and she lives in Little City, when she comes over to, comes up to our apartment on Sheridan Road, first, after we have the welcoming hug, she has to go over to the window to look down at the lake and see if there's any, to count the number of ducks and swans and things like that. And when we're driving up and down the road, and she's counting the number of birds and things like that. So it's a long beginning to my question, but my question is, are there ever birds that come down and swim in the lake?
Yes, we have we've seen, most recently, we've seen the wood ducks. We have a male and female, so they're mating out there. We have blue teals that have come back. Blue teals, to my understanding, don't really stay around very long. They kind of come in, may do whatever, and they're kind of off. But they've been around a lot longer. We have a blue heron. The blue heron must, he's been around. He was even around during construction. So he hasn't gone anywhere. He's been there the whole time. He's there. I've got pictures of him. He's all over the place. He likes the Skokie Lagoon. So we're butted up right against the forest preserve. So you know, the wildlife is right near us, and that's really kind of been my job, is to kind of, you know, welcome it back. You know, we disturbed the surrounding, we disturbed the golf course, but they're welcome back, and there's a lot of geese too.
Too many.
How do you handle the geese?
Well, I have a little pup, and she likes to kind of play with them. But we're not deterring the geese. You know, they you can't, you know, they're gonna be there. So like I say, she she kind of looks at them. She looks at them and they kind of take off. They're not really, they're scared of the carts. So, I mean, you drive up, they're not like geese I've seen before where they're kind of, used to human population and you walk right up to a herd of them. These, they kind of
Hey,
scatter.
yeah, these kind of have stand your ground law, something like certain places.
And it's,
Put them in your car and they don't move.
Do you have trouble with deer on that golf course?
yes, we've had plenty of deer, plenty of deer. They're not, right now is not really, the time, but last fall, we saw, herds of them. I mean, we're talking like 20 plus deer, just standing on the golf course. They're still around, there's no doubt in my mind, but we've seen, herds of 4 or 5, but yes, they're around. And again, it's nice to see them kind of coming through the golf course. It makes growing in a brand new green a little difficult, but, it's just kind of how it is. So we just.
You are talking about how things carry on, how the plants carry on in the wildlife. Well, we live in a world of human wildlife. Any way we can apply what they're teaching us, are they teaching us something that we can use as an example of how human beings ought to be carrying on.
Yep.
Next one, yes.
So, we are transitioning, the golf carts at Winnetka Golf Club, to lithium golf carts, instead of the gas golf carts. Lithium, has new technology. They've been working with, Samsung, and trying to come up with a sustainable battery. And, the company that we are going with is EasyGo, and they've been the leader in, sustainability and, kind of leading the charge in the new innovations. There's zero emissions, the noise reduction, which is, the noise reduction, wildlife, you hear a gas golf cart running around, you kind of run off, wildlife. Now you can kind of really get right up to the wildlife without them knowing you're there, and cost effectiveness. Just to kind of, so electric golf cart can go 2 or 3 rounds, which a round is average about 4 miles. A gas golf cart, can go further, but about every 100 hours or so, you need to service those golf carts. So there's a lot of labor involved in a gas golf cart. That's 60 some odd carts, being serviced probably about every month. The lithium and the battery carts are a lot less, labor intensive.
Thanks.
When will they be installed? What
They-
is the process of replacing the gas?
So we are already in the process. We have to upgrade the cart storage facility to take on that power. But that's coming very soon. It's gonna be before we open the golf course, which will be at the end of late summer.
And then where will the gas buddies go?
They're being traded in.
In the beginning, you mentioned Crow Island, and it's always been a water problem over there, seeping into our school and the homes in the area, and I was wondering what was being done. I think a lot has been done recently, but I'm not sure what it is that they've been working on.
So I'm not so familiar with the Crow Island project. But there, it's gonna have the same capabilities and I'm pretty certain that those cisterns are going to, they're probably, underground all the way to the forest
Go
preserve
back
as
to the
well.
cistern one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go back to the cistern.
And,
All the way back.
there, it's gonna be able to be diverted as well through, the forest preserve and then on down the Skokie River as well.
So
So-
they're putting one of those in at the far south end of the playground. You know where the mound used to be?
Mhm,
The mound is gone now.
right. But there's-
So there'll be a flat playing surface there. There'll be a flat playing surface there.
They talked about putting it back. because
Okay, put
of-
the mound back?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, we're gonna put the mound back.
When the architect-
She was there when they built there, you worked there for a long time, right? And
A very long.
you had, when there was almost a swamp, and still sometimes was a swamp. when you were there.
What's the name of the
When your
school?
classroom is in. the-
Yeah.
Crow Island?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was an island. It was an island.
When you're housed in the lower level with your art room and you see something shining in the corner, you know it's water coming into your room. So that-
Well, this might help though, because this is to hold all the water that
Right.
goes down.
I think it should, yes.
Yeah. So go back to the city building. Go back one. There you go.
So this is a pretty good depiction of the 18-hole course. So all the yellow highlights are where we have native grasses, or we're going to implement no-mow areas to promote biodiversity, less labor, less plant healthcare applications. So over 30% of the golf course is devoted to green spaces.
Cool.
And benefits the ecosystem, reduces maintenance, supports wildlife, and protected species.
What's the increase on the green space?
What's that?
The increase, that you've accomplished.
The increase, I don't really, it's always kind of been there.
Uh-huh. That's okay.
The only increase, I can't really put a number on it. But if we've had to increase it by, 10%. It was probably a quarter of the property before.
Why don't you tell them what you did in the upper left-hand corner? You took out, that's that special nature place where you left a couple dead trees.
So our main goal has, that everything was overgrown, and for construction, we needed to, revitalize. We've revitalized, there's some areas that we've left, for instance, up there in the top left-hand corner, as Chuck's referring to, we've left a couple trees, dead trees. We've built new, brush piles. We cleaned up the area, but then we've reestablished, habitats, for rodents and small animals to come back and kind of den up and make new. We just kind of hit the reset button on the property, which was kind of necessary. A lot of these overgrown areas were, had buckthorn in them, which is an invasive, plant species that we needed to eradicate off the property. So that area, for instance, up there on the north end between holes 3 and 4, that was a lot of buckthorn all along the dike. 14, 16, 17, along 18, a lot of buckthorn. the Winnetka Men's, Golf Club, group. They'll tell you that they've been, trying to eradicate, buckthorn off the berms for a very long time. We've come through and kind of reset the button again. They've been out on several instances this year and helped us with, several projects, and one of them, will be on the next slide. But one more, Greg. The blue areas is all our water, so.
With all that water, what about frogs? Can you have frogs? Because
We
the
have
screech owls in my neighborhood, we had a pond that was loaded with frogs. No more frogs and lots of screech owls on my property.
Well, we'll, we'll let the frogs, they kind of come in and, I mean, we're
I
not,
see, so you can't seed with frogs.
what's that?
You can dump some frogs in there.
They usually come in on duck feed. They come in pretty easily.
Yeah.
So we have some, we have some, turtle rafts and, for frogs, they can get up and sun on them. We have a couple ponds with, rafts in them for such. Actually, be quite honest, I think I heard a couple frogs jump off the lake bank the other day. So, when I was looking at the wood duck box, heard something jump in the water, and I would assume that was a frog.
Any snakes, because snakes come with frogs are.
Yeah.
I'm from the south, so I'm used to the
That-
ones you don't really want on your around.
There's probably snakes. I haven't seen a whole lot. I'm sure that they're gonna be back. But we've cleaned up a lot of the underbrush and like really the areas, they'll come in probably slower than.
With all that water, I would think you would have beavers.
And so I got a
That would
call,
be a problem.
I got a call from somebody on the north end the other day. They claimed to have a beaver in their yard, so, I don't know if the beaver can stay off.
The variety of birds you have, because where I'm located, once North Shore mosquito abatement stopped spraying because after the West Nile virus scare, because we were the epicenter between Skokie and actually I had 3 neighbors who had West Nile virus. But once they stopped spraying, a lot of our birds came back, but our sparrows have not come. They disappeared last year. We have
Oh, yeah.
lots of robins. We have cardinals, ravens, and a lot of warblers, which are field birds. But I understand that birds mainly feed on insects, and the insect population is down a lot because of toxic materials. And I'm just wondering how many different kinds of varieties of birds you have, and do you have insects? Because once my gardener started spraying, putting material on the grass as fertilizer and weed killer, I lost all of my fireflies, because I used to have a lot of fireflies in August and September. So can you talk about the variety of birds you have and also your insect population?
So we have pretty much all the birds that you just named off. I think probably one that we have an oriole out there as well. See them quite often. I see them more often. See quite a few cardinals out there. The insect population is high. I see quite a few insects. I run through them all the time out on the golf course. Being so close to the forest preserve and on the golf course, there's plenty of insects out there. One of which we're incorporating bats to kind of bring in and try to eat mosquitoes because we are in a stagnant water area. So
one of the things I'm thinking, well, I'm working with the Winnetka Garden Club to plant a sustainable pollinator garden. So, we're gonna go to the Winnetka Park Foundation and donate some money to give to Andrew to plant sustainable, plants that would serve as homes for the pollinators. So if you'd like to join us, we'd,
Yeah.
love to have a contribution.
Chuck, are those all native to this area?
Well, yeah, we'll put in native pollinator plants. So
Speaking of pollinators, how about bees? Now, I just read there's basically two kinds of bees. One's that sting you and the pollinators. And so at the Goodwill, they sold a little funny thing that was supposed to attract pollinating bees. So you could, instead of hanging wood ducks, I guess in theory, you can hang these little gadgets that attract pollinating bees.
So that is, yes, there's actually, there's a type of bee that you can put out there and it doesn't sting you like you're saying. Maybe down the road, we can incorporate some more of those.
Yeah.
Into the golf course, but that's gonna take some more education because the word bee means sting, right? So, that's a big, education, hurdle that we've gotta get over. Because I've been around where, we've had, beehives, near a golf course and really they don't.
Yeah, disturb you.
They don't disturb you, but you know, you can go and pull honey from them and everything. There's great places great green spaces on the golf course, that are away from play that would, you know, be a place that we can house these, but we've kind of gotta do a little bit of educating and, you know, that's a little bit bigger project.
I have one question, I gotta go back to work, because I've been in the sanctuary a second. So this is kind of maybe it'll help someone else. What do you do about creeping Charlie on a golf course? I have a sustainable yard that is certified as sustainable. And we try not to use chemicals, but you know, creeping Charlie is taking over, so are there chemicals that are safer? That I know there's some downside to all.
Yeah,
But
you're gonna have to employ somebody else to come.
Yeah.
pull it.
Yeah.
That's probably, that's, if you can't really, if it doesn't burn out with just like mixing, salt.
Yeah,
And kind of knock it back, then it's kind of a pulling.
yeah, I tried that once, got some brown leaves, and that was it. They had a great time about 4 months later.
Yeah. So.
Thank you for the answer, I gotta go, good to see you.
No, see you
Thank
soon.
you very much.
Thank you.
Could I say a couple things about bees?
Sure.
One, bees can be deadly for people who have that shock tactic if they are stung by a bee. That could be a problem for dolphins who are subject to anaphylactic shock. I have a friend who was a roofer and he was on the second story when a wasp or something sting came by. There was a ladder there. He didn't use a ladder. He just threw himself down. It was that or die. So there is that problem with bees on the golf course. The other thing, there has been a migration north of killer bees from the middle of the continent. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I have not.
Good. Glad to hear it.
I think we're more worried about the cicadas.
Yes.
Is it a 17-year cicada this year?
Yes.
Yes, it is,
That's the big trouble.
but we're not gonna see both of them, so.
Uh-huh.
We're not gonna get both?
We get 13.
Oh.
13's our,
Yeah,
13's our bird.
yeah.
Either way, it's gonna be amazing.
If we were a little bit further south, and I understand that, the crossover would be somewhere in Springfield. And then, 13 south.
So we're not gonna get to see all of this presentation, are we? I'd love to see the rest of this.
Well, yeah, we have time, we're gonna hold our questions just for 10 minutes,
I'll get finished. So this is kind of what I'm talking about, is, this was all overgrown with, buckthorn. And just overgrown, thorn, bushes and everything. We've gone through and cleaned it out and revitalized what I would consider, kind of an area that was, really not aesthetically pleasing, and now, you know, we built, you can't really see here, but we've left some, trees that we cut in there, to kind of bring back insects and house, rodents and so on. And this will be, maintained as such. And this is pretty much, we've limbed up, all of, the trees on the golf course to 12 feet and cleared out any areas that were overgrown. And this is kind of, this is pretty much what you see throughout the golf course now. A lot more open than the golf course used to be. So this is the pond where, so up here is the cistern on Nutrier's property. And then this is Little Duke right off the ice rink, Winnetka Park District cistern. And then they both feed into the pond, run through the creek, underneath in the culverts, under 18 Green, and then into the big lake on 18 that we've seen pictures of. That's kind of how that all works. Some initiatives that we've been working on, the most notable one is being Audubon Cooperative Sanctuary Program certified. That has 6 components, all of which we've been working towards and achieving. And they all deal with sustainability and outreach. Kemper Sports also has their own initiatives. They have a 6 level program that all deals with same things. It's more facility driven. Energy within the building and recycling and kind of things up around the clubhouse and in the maintenance facility. There is components for the golf course that drive that. And so through both of those initiatives, we are really driving a sustainable future for Winnetka Golf Club. Okay, so really the big thing that is the education of the students. Really, this is an educational initiative designed by the Golf Course Superintendents Association to engage students to environmentally learn that the uses of the golf course is a living laboratory. This is a program geared for students from kindergarten through 12th grade and can participate on hands-on outdoor learning stations that include lessons on wildlife habitat, soil science, environmental sustainability, mathematics, water conservation, water quality, and career exploration and more. All right, there's all kinds of lesson plans. We have bugs, we have tools that we use on the golf course for monitoring the greens and gauging the quality of the golf course, water conservation, math on the golf course, simple circuit lesson plans. So really, if you'd like to learn more, you can visit thefirstgreen.org. Okay. So this is kind of the kids at programs all across the North America. Up top left This was a first green program that was put on while women's and turf were out at Pebble Beach for the US Open. They put on a first green program out there. And they're measuring and showing how to use a stent meter, which measures how fast the greens are. Top right is showing mathematics on a golf course. Basically, how we measure greens, the size of them, how you go about that, different lesson plans. Down on the bottom left is showing the new technologies we have, how we're incorporating electric mowers, electric backpack blowers. This guy over here, he's pulling a soil sample and showing, that's a plug. That's a plug that's 8 inches long. So he's seeing the soil, and then he's also seeing the root structure. This was a group up in Colorado. Looked at 7th grade students that went through the first green program. And then the overall picture, this was out in San Diego for the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America's conference, but they also put on a first green program, and were able to have learning lessons for them there as well. So great program, would love to implement it at the golf course. We are engaging right now, and look forward to hopefully being able to implement it by next fall. Okay. Can you press play on this? This is just an overview of this is where the golf course over the last 13 months has gone, where we started. Yeah, it's just a time lapse video.
All right, let's see.
Wow.
Nice.
Thank you.
It is a real asset that you have given the community, and I like the education program. And I wanted to ask you, were these photographs taken by drones or by helicopter?
By drone.
By drone. And did they bring in crews from, there must be people that redo professional golf courses all the time, that the crews that come in from other states or other, that go around to Ivory Golf Course to redo parts of it. Is that what you do, or do you?
So there was a local company that did the civil engineering and like all the earthwork. And then there's a local company, just south of Wisconsin who did all the golf course, like underground utilities, drainage, irrigation, bunker work, the seeding, all that. They were an outside party. So two third parties, that came in and helped with the construction project.
Huge undertaking
Yes.
and very costly too. So were the pictures taken by helicopter or drone?
Drone,
Drone.
yes.
And so you were seeding rather than sodding?
Yeah, we sounded a little bit, but everything else was seeded, yes.
Enormous project. Thank you.
How many golf courses across the United States are doing this kind of work?
Like renovation work?
Yeah, well, I mean, sustainability and really focusing on really supporting the environment.
So this is what we do golf course superintendents, whether or not we're engaging in the Audubon program,
Right.
everybody is being sustainable. So all golf courses. There's nobody out there, we're not out there overspraying, our goal as a golf course superintendent is to be sustainable and be stewards of the environment.
What about bringing in, the nature, the natural habitats and, bringing in nature preserves and that kind of thing?
Again, we all want, the best. We're not trying to deter anything.
So we're all oriented.
We all enjoy the green space. We all work in the golf industry. We love being outdoors. So we're promoting.
That's a good question. How many are being Audubon certified? Like,
Right.
a- An entryway to just come up with that number of the golf courses that are being more proactive.
Is this a recent development of concern for the environment by golf course people countrywide? How many
No,
years?
Audubon's been around since
Oh,
the mid 1990s. So this being certified has been around for quite some time.
Because
Earth
the
Day's
climate-
been around for a long time.
Because the climate change situation has only become urgent in people's minds for the last maybe decade and a half. So, good luck golf courses. Yeah.
That's why we've got to try to be even more sustainable than what we have been in the past.
Truly.
And see here, you can do.
Yeah, is there a time when the golfers are off the course in the summer? Like,
That's a great
the
question.
last,
Yeah. When could they work?
the last,
Between 9
whole-
PM and 4 PM.
So-
Thank you.
so I can't, my hearing aids are bad, I didn't hear that. But, what about me? I don't play golf. I'd love to be able to be a part of
That's
this
a great
golf
question.
course. Take a walk after the last golfer is left.
Mhm.
Are you promoting anything for us?
Yeah.
So as far as I understand, the golf course is a public space. We prefer not to have anybody out there that is not a golfer because you could potentially be hit with a golf ball. I don't know of any programs. I know that in the fall when we're closed, there was a walking trail.
Well, there's the point.
But that's something that, I haven't been here while the golf course has been open, so it's nothing that we've really addressed. But I think there has been something in the past, because I've seen documents that say walking trail, winter walking trail is what it
And
is.
that really be a question for our park district,
Exactly.
right? The park district sets that kind of policy
Mhm.
for Kemper to then manage.
I
So-
see.
So we have a direct voice to the park district without exercise. If that's an issue that
Yeah, it'd be helpful to go to a park board meeting and ask that question. I think it'd be a really interesting question to ask, because I'd love to know what the answer would be.
That's a great question, Nancy, I think so too.
Well, thank you so much, Andrew. This is great to know.
Unbelievable.
And